Take a moment and listen to your heartbeat. Feel that steady rhythm pulsing through your chest. Now consider this. That rhythm isn't just keeping you alive. It's broadcasting a frequency that extends 3 feet beyond your body, creating an electromagnetic field that other people can actually sense when they're near you. Your heart, it turns out, is both a muscle and a radio transmitter, constantly broadcasting the signature of your inner state to the world around you. But here's what will astound you. You can consciously tune that frequency, like adjusting a radio dial, shifting from static and noise to crystal clear reception. And when you do, everything changes. Welcome to Calm Quantum, where stillness meets the universe. I'm so grateful you've found your way here tonight, to this quiet corner of existence where we explore the deepest mysteries of consciousness and cosmos. Whether you're settling in for the evening with a warm cup of tea, or simply seeking a moment of profound wonder in your day, you've arrived at exactly the right place. This is our sanctuary, where the impossible becomes inevitable, and where the most cutting-edge science reveals truths that mystics have whispered about for millennia. Tonight, we're embarking on a journey that will fundamentally change how you understand your own consciousness. We're exploring the science of human frequency, the measurable, quantifiable reality that you are not just a collection of cells and thoughts, but a dynamic, vibrating system operating at specific frequencies that determine your experience of reality itself. This isn't metaphor. This isn't wishful thinking. This is documented, peer-reviewed science that reveals something extraordinary about what it means to be human. Before we begin this exploration, I'd love to know where in the world you're listening from tonight. Are you watching from a cozy apartment in Amsterdam as evening settles in? Perhaps from a quiet room in Tokyo as morning light begins to filter through your windows? Feel free to share your location in the comments below. There's something beautiful about knowing we're connected across the globe, all tuning into the same frequency of curiosity and wonder. Picture yourself as a vast symphony orchestra, with trillions of cells serving as individual musicians, each one contributing to the complex harmonic structure that creates the experience of being you. Your nervous system conducts this biological symphony, coordinating frequencies from the electrical firing of neurons to the rhythmic contractions of your heart, from the oscillating waves of your breathing to the subtle electromagnetic pulses generated by every living cell in your body. But here's where the science becomes truly remarkable. Recent research has revealed that these biological frequencies aren't random or chaotic. They're organized into coherent patterns that can be measured, analyzed, and most importantly, consciously influenced. When your internal frequencies align in what scientists call coherent states, something extraordinary happens. Your cognitive function improves, your emotional resilience increases, your physical health optimizes, and your capacity for joy, creativity, and connection expands in ways that can only be described as transcendent. Dr. Roland McCready and his team at the HeartMath Institute have spent decades mapping the intricate relationship between heart rhythms and consciousness. Their findings reveal that your heart generates the strongest electromagnetic field in your body, approximately 60 times greater in amplitude than the electrical activity generated by your brain. This field extends outward from your heart in all directions, creating what researchers call your personal electromagnetic signature. When you experience emotions like gratitude, compassion, or love, your heart rhythm patterns become remarkably coherent, creating smooth, sine wave-like patterns that can be measured with precision instruments. This coherence doesn't just stay confined to your cardiovascular system. It cascades throughout your entire physiology, synchronizing brain waves, optimizing hormone production, and creating what can only be described as a state of biological harmony. Think about the last time you felt genuinely peaceful. Perhaps you were watching a sunset, listening to beautiful music, or sharing a quiet moment with someone you love. In that moment, your heart was likely producing highly coherent rhythms, broadcasting a frequency of peace that not only enhanced your own well-being, but actually influenced the electromagnetic environment around you. This brings us to one of the most profound discoveries in modern neuroscience. Your brain operates on multiple frequency bands simultaneously, each associated with different states of consciousness and cognitive function. Delta waves, oscillating between 1 and 4 cycles per second, dominate during deep sleep and are associated with healing and regeneration. Theta waves, ranging from 4 to 8 cycles per second, emerge during deep meditation and creative insights. Alpha waves, cycling between 8 and 12 times per second, characterize states of relaxed awareness and present moment focus. But here's what's truly fascinating. These brainwave patterns aren't fixed or predetermined. They're fluid, dynamic, and remarkably responsive to your conscious intention. Advanced meditators can shift their dominant brainwave frequency at will, moving from beta consciousness associated with analytical thinking to alpha states of creative flow, or even deeper into theta realms, where profound insights and healing can occur. The implications of this discovery extend far beyond individual well-being. When multiple people synchronize their physiological frequencies, something remarkable happens. Research conducted at Princeton University has documented cases where couples in long-term relationships show synchronized heart rhythms when they're physically close to each other. Their electromagnetic fields literally entrain, creating shared frequency patterns that enhance intimacy, empathy, and emotional connection. As you listen to these words, notice your own breathing rhythm. Feel how it naturally wants to slow down and deepen. This isn't coincidence. Your nervous system is constantly seeking coherence, constantly trying to optimize the frequencies that create your experience of being alive. When you consciously participate in this process, when you become an active conductor of your own biological symphony, the results can be nothing short of transformational. The science reveals that maintaining high vibrational states isn't about positive thinking or forcing yourself to feel good. It's about understanding and working with the actual physiological mechanisms that create coherent frequency patterns in your body and mind. It's about recognizing that you are, quite literally, a walking, breathing, thinking frequency generator with the capacity to consciously tune your own signal. Recent studies in circadian biology have revealed that your entire physiology operates on multiple overlapping rhythms, from the obvious 24-hour cycle of sleeping and waking to more subtle ultradian cycles that govern everything from hormone production to cellular repair. Your core body temperature fluctuates on a precise 24-hour pattern. Your cortisol levels peak in the early morning and gradually decline throughout the day. Your heart rate variability follows predictable patterns that correlate with your overall health and resilience. These biological rhythms aren't separate systems operating independently. They're intricately interconnected, forming what chronobiologists call your internal temporal architecture. When these rhythms are synchronized and coherent, you experience what researchers term optimal physiological functioning. When they're disrupted or chaotic, you feel it as fatigue, stress, emotional instability, and decreased cognitive performance. But here's the remarkable part. You can consciously influence these rhythms through specific practices and lifestyle choices. Light exposure at particular times of day can reset your circadian clock. Breathing techniques can shift your autonomic nervous system from sympathetic activation to parasympathetic coherence. Meditation can synchronize brainwave patterns across different regions of your brain, creating states of integrated awareness that enhance both mental clarity and emotional well-being. The research emerging from laboratories around the world is painting a picture of human consciousness that would have seemed impossible just decades ago. We're discovering that awareness itself might be fundamentally connected to the electromagnetic and quantum processes occurring within our nervous system. The microtubules within your neurons, those tiny protein structures that help maintain cellular architecture, exhibit quantum coherence at body temperature, something that should be impossible according to classical physics. This quantum coherence in biological systems suggests that consciousness might operate partially through quantum mechanical processes existing in states of superposition where multiple possibilities coexist until collapsed into specific experiences through the act of conscious observation. While this remains speculative and highly debated, the implications are staggering. It suggests that consciousness isn't just produced by the brain, but might be a fundamental feature of reality that the brain has evolved to access and channel. Take a breath here and let this possibility settle into your awareness. What if consciousness itself is a frequency, a fundamental vibration of the universe that your nervous system has learned to detect and amplify? What if maintaining high vibrational states isn't just about personal well-being, but about tuning into deeper currents of cosmic awareness that connect all conscious beings? As you contemplate these ideas, notice how your body responds. Feel how your breathing might naturally deepen, how your heart rhythm might become more coherent, how your mind might settle into a state of quiet wonder. This is your frequency shifting in real time, responding to concepts that resonate with something deep within your biological architecture. The ancient wisdom traditions spoke of humans as bridges between earth and sky, between matter and spirit. Modern science is revealing that this might be more literal than metaphorical. You are indeed a bridge, a conscious interface between the quantum realm of infinite possibility and the classical world of definite experience. Every moment of awareness represents a collapse of quantum possibilities into the specific reality you experience as your life. In our next exploration, we'll delve deeper into the specific mechanisms that allow you to maintain these high-frequency states throughout your day, discovering how the simple act of gratitude can literally rewire your brain's neural networks, and how the foods you eat directly influence your capacity for sustained joy and clarity. We'll explore why some environments naturally elevate your frequency, while others seem to drain your life force, and how you can consciously create conditions that support your highest vibrational potential. But for now, simply rest in the wonder of what you are. A conscious, vibrating, frequency-generating marvel of biological engineering, capable of tuning your own signal to broadcast love, peace, creativity, and joy into the electromagnetic field of existence itself. You are not separate from the universe. You are the universe becoming conscious of itself, one beautiful, coherent frequency at a time. The foods you consume create the molecular foundation for every neurotransmitter, every hormone, every electrical signal that courses through your nervous system. When you bite into a piece of dark chocolate, you're not just satisfying a craving, you're introducing compounds that will directly influence your brain's production of phenylethylamine and anandamide, chemicals that create feelings of bliss and elevated awareness within minutes of consumption. Your digestive system houses what neuroscientists call your second brain, a complex network of over 500 million neurons that communicate directly with your cranial brain through the vagus nerve. This enteric nervous system processes information, makes decisions, and generates electromagnetic frequencies that contribute to your overall vibrational signature. When you consume foods that support beneficial gut bacteria, you're literally feeding microorganisms that produce up to 90% of your body's serotonin. The ancient wisdom that spoke of food as medicine is being validated by cutting-edge research in nutritional neuroscience. Omega-3 fatty acids found in wild-caught fish don't just support brain health in some vague, general way. They become integrated into the phospholipid bilayers of your neural membranes, directly influencing the speed and efficiency of electrical transmission between neurons. When your brain tissue is composed of high-quality fats, your thoughts literally move faster and with greater clarity. But the relationship between nutrition and frequency goes deeper than individual nutrients. The timing of when you eat, the combinations of foods you consume, even the emotional state you're in while eating, all influence how your body processes and utilizes the molecular building blocks of consciousness. When you eat in a state of gratitude and presence, your digestive system produces different enzyme profiles than when you consume the same foods while stressed or distracted. Research conducted at the University of California has revealed that the simple act of chewing activates the vagus nerve, triggering a cascade of physiological responses that can shift your autonomic nervous system toward parasympathetic dominance. This means that the very act of mindful eating becomes a frequency-shifting practice, regardless of what foods you're consuming. The rhythmic motion of mastication creates a meditative state that synchronizes brain waves and optimizes digestive function. Consider the profound intelligence embedded in this process. Your taste buds contain specialized receptors that can distinguish between millions of different molecular configurations. These receptors don't just identify flavors. They transmit information directly to your brain about the nutritional content, potential toxicity, and even the freshness of what you're consuming. Your tongue is essentially a sophisticated chemical analysis laboratory that provides real-time feedback about the vibrational quality of your food. The water content of your foods carries its own vibrational signature. Fresh fruits and vegetables contain structured water with unique electromagnetic properties that differ significantly from processed or dehydrated foods. When you consume foods with high water content, you're literally hydrating your cells with liquid that carries specific frequency patterns. This structured water becomes part of the medium through which all of your biological frequencies propagate. Now, let's explore how your environment acts as a constant frequency modulator, either supporting or undermining your capacity to maintain elevated states throughout the day. The electromagnetic environment in which you live has changed more dramatically in the past century than in all of previous human history. Your ancestors evolved in an environment where the only electromagnetic frequencies were those generated by the Earth itself, lightning, and cosmic radiation. Today, you're immersed in a complex soup of artificial electromagnetic fields generated by power lines, Wi-Fi routers, cell towers, and countless electronic devices. The Earth itself generates a natural electromagnetic field known as the Schumann resonance, a frequency of approximately 7.83 Hz that has remained relatively stable throughout human evolution. This frequency closely matches the alpha brainwave patterns associated with relaxed, meditative states. When you spend time in natural environments away from artificial electromagnetic interference, your nervous system naturally entrains to this planetary frequency, often resulting in immediate feelings of calm and well-being. But artificial electromagnetic fields can disrupt this natural synchronization in subtle ways that you might not consciously notice. The blue light emitted by electronic screens doesn't just affect your sleep cycles, it creates specific frequency patterns that can interfere with your pineal gland's production of melatonin, a hormone that regulates not just sleep, but also your body's natural circadian rhythms. When these rhythms become disrupted, your entire frequency spectrum shifts, making it significantly more difficult to maintain elevated states. The acoustic environment surrounding you creates another layer of frequency influence that operates below the threshold of conscious awareness. Even when you're not actively listening, your auditory system continues processing sound waves, converting them into electrical signals that directly influence your brain state. The constant hum of traffic, air conditioning, or electronic devices creates what researchers call acoustic pollution, a steady stream of chaotic frequencies that can gradually shift your nervous system towards states of chronic low-level stress activation. In contrast, natural sounds like flowing water, rustling leaves, or bird songs contain complex harmonic structures that tend to promote coherent brainwave patterns. The sound of ocean waves, for instance, naturally occurs in rhythms that match optimal breathing patterns, unconsciously encouraging your respiratory system to synchronize with these healing frequencies. This is why many people report feeling immediately more relaxed and centered when spending time near bodies of water. Your visual environment also functions as a frequency modulator through pathways that extend far beyond conscious sight. The colors, patterns, and light qualities that surround you are constantly being processed by your visual cortex and translated into electrical patterns that influence your overall brain state. Exposure to natural light throughout the day provides crucial timing signals for your circadian clock, but the spectral qualities of that light also directly influence neurotransmitter production and hormone regulation. The geometric patterns found in nature, from the spiral arrangements of flower petals to the branching structures of trees, contain mathematical relationships that appear to resonate with something deep in human visual processing. When you gaze upon these natural fractals, your brain enters states of calm focus that can be measured through EEG monitoring. This suggests that certain visual frequencies may have evolved to support optimal human consciousness states. Social environments create perhaps the most powerful frequency influences of all, through mechanisms that science is only beginning to understand. When you're in the presence of other people, your electromagnetic fields literally overlap and interact, creating shared frequency patterns that can either elevate or diminish your individual vibrational state. This isn't metaphorical. It's measurable through sophisticated instruments that can detect the electromagnetic signatures generated by groups of people. Research conducted at Princeton University has documented cases where groups of people engaged in collaborative activities show synchronized physiological rhythms. Their heart rates begin to coordinate, their breathing patterns align, and their brain waves enter states of coherent resonance. This physiological synchrony appears to enhance group creativity, empathy, and collective problem-solving abilities in ways that exceed what individuals can achieve alone. But this same mechanism works in reverse when you're surrounded by people operating at chaotic or low vibrational frequencies. Chronic exposure to anger, fear, or despair doesn't just affect you psychologically. It creates measurable changes in your autonomic nervous system, stress hormone levels, and immune function. Your biology literally resonates with the dominant frequencies in your social environment, making conscious choice about who you spend time with one of the most important factors in maintaining elevated states. The spaces where you spend time carry their own energetic signatures that accumulate over time through the activities and emotions that have occurred there. Hospitals, for instance, often feel heavy or draining, not just because of conscious associations with illness, but because these environments have been saturated with fear, pain, and grief over many years. The electromagnetic patterns generated by intense emotions appear to leave traces in the physical environment that sensitive individuals can detect. Conversely, spaces that have been used for meditation, prayer, or joyful gatherings often feel uplifting and peaceful in ways that seem to transcend their physical characteristics. Sacred sites around the world that have been used for spiritual practices over centuries consistently produce measurable effects on human consciousness, including shifts in brainwave patterns and electromagnetic field coherence. As you move through your day, notice how different environments affect your inner state. Pay attention to how you feel when entering various buildings, how your energy shifts in natural versus artificial settings, how your mood changes in response to different acoustic environments. Your nervous system is constantly providing feedback about the vibrational quality of your surroundings, but modern life often teaches us to ignore these subtle signals in favor of purely rational decision-making. This environmental awareness becomes crucial when you realize that maintaining high vibrational states isn't just about individual practices like meditation or gratitude. It's about creating and seeking out environmental conditions that naturally support elevated consciousness. Just as plants thrive in certain soil conditions and wither in others, human consciousness flourishes in environments that provide the right frequency conditions for optimal neural function. The air quality in your environment affects not just your physical health, but your cognitive and emotional states as well. When you breathe clean air with optimal oxygen content, your brain operates more efficiently, producing clearer thoughts and more stable emotions. But air quality involves more than just oxygen levels. The presence of negative ions, commonly found near moving water or after thunderstorms, appears to enhance mood and mental clarity through mechanisms that aren't fully understood but are consistently temperature documented. And humidity also influence your frequency states through their effects on autonomic nervous system function. Your body constantly monitors environmental conditions and makes subtle adjustments to maintain optimal internal conditions for cellular function. When environmental temperatures fall within specific ranges, your nervous system can devote more resources to higher order functions like creative thinking and emotional regulation rather than basic survival responses. Even the materials that surround you carry vibrational properties that can influence your state of consciousness. Natural materials like wood, stone, and organic fibers appear to create more harmonious electromagnetic environments than synthetic materials or metal structures. While the mechanisms aren't fully understood, many people report feeling more grounded and centered in environments constructed primarily from natural materials. The lighting in your environment profoundly influences your circadian rhythms, but it also affects your immediate state of consciousness through pathways that bypass visual processing entirely. Certain wavelengths of light can directly influence pineal gland function, melatonin production, and the release of various neurotransmitters that affect mood and cognition. Full-spectrum natural light provides the optimal conditions for maintaining healthy circadian rhythms and supporting elevated consciousness states. As you consider these environmental influences, remember that you have more control than you might initially think. While you may not be able to completely control your external environment, you can make conscious choices about where you spend time, how you arrange your living space, and what sensory inputs you expose yourself to throughout the day. Creating sanctuary spaces in your home that support high vibrational states becomes an investment in your ongoing capacity for elevated consciousness. The profound interconnection between your internal frequency states and your external environment reveals something beautiful about the nature of consciousness itself. You are not separate from your surroundings. You are in constant, dynamic relationship with every aspect of your environment, participating in an ongoing exchange of information, energy, and frequency patterns that shapes your experience of reality moment by moment. Take a breath here and feel into this interconnectedness. Notice how your awareness naturally expands when you recognize that maintaining high vibrational states is not just an individual endeavor, but a collaborative dance with the entire field of existence surrounding you. Your consciousness extends beyond the boundaries of your physical body, participating in larger patterns of coherence that include other people, natural systems, and even the electromagnetic field of the Earth itself. In our next exploration, we'll discover how certain practices can train your nervous system to maintain coherent frequency patterns even in challenging environments, and how your sleep cycles provide a nightly opportunity to reset and optimize your vibrational signature for the following day. We'll explore why some people seem naturally able to maintain high states regardless of circumstances, and how you can develop this same resilience through specific techniques that work with rather than against your biological design. The practices that allow you to maintain coherent frequency patterns, even in challenging environments, operate through what neuroscientists call neuroplasticity, your brain's remarkable capacity to reorganize itself throughout your entire lifetime. When you consistently engage in specific frequency modulating activities, you literally reshape the neural networks that govern your emotional responses, stress reactivity, and capacity for elevated states. Breathing represents the most accessible and immediate tool for frequency regulation, functioning as a direct interface between your conscious mind and your autonomic nervous system. Unlike your heartbeat or digestive processes, breathing operates in unique space where the biological functions can be consciously controlled. When you slow your breathing to approximately 5 breaths per minute, something extraordinary happens in your physiology. This breathing rhythm activates what researchers call the resonance frequency of your cardiovascular system, creating optimal heart rate variability patterns that cascade throughout your entire body. Your vagus nerve, that crucial communication highway between your brain and your major organs, responds to this rhythmic pattern by shifting your nervous system toward parasympathetic dominance, the biological state associated with healing, restoration, and elevated consciousness. But conscious breathing goes beyond simple relaxation techniques. Advanced practitioners develop the ability to use breath as a precision instrument for consciousness modulation. The ancient yogic tradition of pranayama, now validated by modern neuroscience, demonstrates that specific breathing patterns can generate distinct brainwave signatures, alter neurotransmitter production, and even influence gene expression in real time. When you inhale, your heart rate naturally increases as your sympathetic nervous system becomes slightly more active. When you exhale, your heart rate decreases as parasympathetic activity increases. This natural rhythm, called respiratory sinus arrhythmia, becomes more pronounced and coherent when you breathe consciously and rhythmically. The result is a state of physiological coherence that optimizes your body's natural frequency patterns. Take a moment now to notice your own breathing. Feel how it wants to deepen and slow as you bring conscious attention to this usually automatic process. Notice how this simple shift in awareness immediately begins to influence your overall state of being. This is neuroplasticity in action, your nervous system responding to conscious intention with measurable physiological changes. Movement practices provide another powerful avenue for frequency optimization through their effects on multiple biological systems simultaneously. When you engage in rhythmic movement, whether through walking, swimming, dancing, or flowing yoga sequences, you create what exercise physiologists call entrainment patterns that synchronize various biological rhythms throughout your body. The repetitive, rhythmic nature of these activities appears to activate the brain's default mode network in ways that promote integration and coherence across different neural regions. This is why many people report their most creative insights and emotional breakthroughs occurring during or immediately after rhythmic physical activities. The movement literally creates the neurological conditions that support expanded awareness and elevated consciousness. But perhaps most remarkably, research has shown that the intention you bring to movement practices significantly influences their neurological effects. When you engage in physical activity with conscious awareness and appreciation for your neurotransmitter profiles than when body's capabilities, your brain produces different exercise purely for external goals or while distracted by other concerns. The practice of gratitude emerges from this research as one of the most powerful frequency-shifting tools available to human consciousness. When neuroscientists at UCLA measured brain activity in participants experiencing genuine gratitude, they discovered activation patterns in the anterior cingulate cortex and medial prefrontal cortex, regions associated with moral cognition, empathy, and reward processing. These aren't just temporary emotional states. Regular gratitude practice appears to strengthen neural pathways associated with positive emotions while weakening those connected to negative thought patterns. The brain literally rewires itself to more readily access states of appreciation and contentment. This neuroplastic remodeling continues for weeks and months after establishing consistent gratitude practices. The mechanism involves what researchers call positive neuroplasticity, where repeated activation of beneficial neural networks makes them more accessible and stable over time. Each moment of genuine appreciation creates small but measurable changes in synaptic strength, gradually building what neuroscientist Rick Hansen calls the neural architecture of happiness. But gratitude practice becomes most effective when it engages multiple sensory modalities simultaneously. Rather than simply thinking grateful thoughts, the most powerful approaches involve feeling gratitude in your body, visualizing specific details of what you appreciate, and sometimes even expressing gratitude aloud or in writing. This multisensory engagement creates more robust neural encoding and stronger frequency shifting effects. As you consider this, notice what happens in your body when you bring to mind something you genuinely appreciate. Feel how your heart rhythm might shift, how your breathing muscles might soft deepen, how your facial tone. These physical responses aren't separate from the neurological changes occurring in your brain. They're part of an integrated biological response that demonstrates the profound connection between consciousness and physiology. Sleep cycles provide a nightly opportunity to reset and optimize your vibrational signature through processes that scientists are only beginning to understand. During the various stages of sleep, your brain engages in what researchers call neural housekeeping, clearing metabolic waste products, consolidating memories, and optimizing neural network efficiency for the following day. But sleep involves far more than passive restoration. Your brain remains remarkably active during sleep, generating complex patterns of electrical activity that serve crucial functions for consciousness and frequency regulation. During REM sleep, your brain produces gamma waves similar to those found in advanced meditation states, suggesting that dreaming might represent a natural state of expanded awareness that occurs automatically each night. The slow waves that characterize deep sleep appear to play a crucial role in emotional regulation and stress recovery. Research has shown that adequate deep sleep directly influences your capacity to maintain emotional equilibrium and elevated states during waking hours. When deep sleep is disrupted or insufficient, your nervous system becomes more reactive to stress and less able to access coherent frequency patterns. The timing of your sleep cycles interacts with natural circadian rhythms in ways that can either support or undermine your frequency optimization efforts. Your core body temperature, cortisol production, and melatonin synthesis all follow predictable patterns that, when aligned with your sleep schedule, create optimal conditions for both restoration and elevated consciousness. The research reveals that exposure to natural light during specific windows of the day helps healthy maintain circadian rhythms, while exposure to artificial blue light in the evening can disrupt these natural patterns. This isn't just about feeling or alert. Circadian disruption affects neurotransmitter production, hormone regulation, and your overall capacity for sustained high vibrational states. Creating optimal sleep conditions becomes an investment in your daily frequency management. Temperature, darkness, air quality, and acoustic environment all influence sleep architecture and the quality of restoration that occurs during the night. When these conditions are optimized, you wake with enhanced capacity for coherent states and elevated consciousness. Some individuals demonstrate remarkable resilience in maintaining high vibrational states regardless of external circumstances, and neuroscience is beginning to reveal the mechanisms underlying this capacity. These individuals typically show several distinct characteristics in their brain structure and function that can be developed through specific practices. First, they demonstrate enhanced prefrontal cortex function, particularly in areas associated with emotional regulation and cognitive flexibility. This enhanced prefrontal activity allows them to maintain perspective and choice even in challenging situations, preventing automatic reactive patterns from hijacking their consciousness. Second, they show increased activation in brain regions associated with interoception, the ability to sense internal bodily signals. This enhanced body awareness allows them to detect early signs of frequency shifts and implement corrective practices before losing coherent states. They essentially become early warning systems for their own consciousness. Third, these resilient individuals typically demonstrate what researchers call cognitive reframing abilities, the capacity to find meaning, purpose, or learning opportunities even in difficult circumstances. This isn't mere positive thinking, but represents sophisticated neural processes that maintain coherent brain states even when facing genuine challenges. The remarkable discovery is that these characteristics aren't fixed personality traits, but represent learnable skills that develop through consistent practice. Meditation training, in particular, appears to strengthen all of these neural capacities simultaneously. Long-term meditators show structural brain changes, including increased cortical thickness, enhanced connectivity between brain regions, and improved emotional regulation abilities. But resilience isn't just about individual neural capacity. It also involves what psychologists call coherent meaning-making, the ability to maintain a sense of purpose and connection even during difficult periods. Individuals who cultivate strong social connections, engage in meaningful work, and maintain spiritual or philosophical frameworks that transcend immediate circumstances demonstrate enhanced capacity for sustained high vibrational states. The practice of loving-kindness meditation, specifically, has been shown to increase activity in brain networks associated with empathy and social connection, while simultaneously reducing activity in regions associated with self-referential thinking and rumination. This creates a neurological foundation for maintaining elevated states that, as you quantum, aren't dependent on external circumstances. Plate these possibilities. Consider your own patterns of resilience. When have you maintained inner peace despite external challenges? What practices or perspectives have helped you stay connected to elevated states during difficult times? Your nervous system already contains the capacity for this resilience. The question is how to cultivate and strengthen these natural abilities. The foods that support sustained elevated consciousness work through complex biochemical pathways that directly influence neurotransmitter production and neural function. Your brain consumes approximately 20% of your total caloric intake, making nutrition a crucial factor in maintaining optimal frequency states throughout the day. Certain nutrients function as direct precursors to neurotransmitters that create elevated states. Tryptophan, found in foods like turkey, eggs, and seeds, serves as the raw material for serotonin production. When combined with complex carbohydrates that help transport tryptophan across the blood-brain barrier, these foods can measurably increase brain serotonin levels within hours of consumption. Similarly, tyrosine-rich foods like almonds, avocados, and fish provide the building blocks for dopamine and norepinephrine, neurotransmitters associated with motivation, focus, and elevated mood. The timing and combination of these foods can create sustained neurochemical support for high vibrational states rather than the temporary spikes and crashes associated with processed foods and simple sugars. But nutrition affects consciousness through pathways that extend beyond neurotransmitter production. The omega-3 fatty acids found in wild-caught fish, walnuts, and flax seeds become integrated into neural membrane structure, directly influencing the speed and efficiency of electrical transmission between brain cells. When your neural membranes are composed of high-quality fats, your thoughts literally process more efficiently and with greater clarity. The antioxidants found in colorful fruits and vegetables protect neural tissue from oxidative stress while supporting the production of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a protein that promotes the growth of new neural connections. Foods high in flavonoids, such as dark berries, dark chocolate, and green tea, have been shown to enhance cognitive function and support neuroplasticity through multiple mechanisms. Even the act of eating can become a frequency-shifting practice when approached with conscious awareness. Mindful eating activates the parasympathetic nervous system, optimizing digestion and nutrient absorption while creating opportunities for present moment awareness and gratitude. The simple practice of eating slowly and appreciating the colors, textures, and flavors of your food can shift your nervous system toward coherent states. The gut-brain connection adds another layer of complexity to the relationship between nutrition and consciousness. Your intestinal tract contains more neurons than your spinal cord, and these enteric nervous system neurons communicate directly with your brain through the vagus nerve. The beneficial bacteria in your digestive system produce neurotransmitters, including serotonin, GABA, and dopamine, that directly influence your mood and cognitive function. Fermented foods like sauerkraut support yogurt, kefir, and beneficial gut bacteria populations, creating a foundation for sustained neurotransmitter production. The fiber found in whole plant foods serves as fuel for these beneficial microorganisms, creating what researchers call a positive feedback loop between diet, gut health, and mental well-being. Hydration profoundly affects consciousness through mechanisms that go beyond simply preventing dehydration. Your brain is approximately 75% water, and even mild dehydration can significantly impair cognitive function and emotional regulation. But the quality of water you consume also matters. Structured water found in fresh fruits and vegetables carries different electromagnetic properties than processed or heavily treated water. The mineral content of your water influences electrical conductivity throughout your nervous system. Natural spring water contains trace minerals that support optimal neural function, while distilled or heavily processed water may lack these crucial electrolytes. The timing of water consumption also affects consciousness, with adequate hydration upon waking helping to optimize brain function throughout the day. Intermittent fasting has emerged as a powerful tool for consciousness optimization through its effects on brain chemistry and cellular repair processes. When you fast for extended periods, your body produces ketones, alternative fuel molecules that many people report create enhanced mental clarity and emotional stability. Fasting also triggers autophagy, cellular cleanup processes that may help maintain optimal brain function. The research suggests that the mild stress of periodic fasting activates adaptive responses that strengthen neural resilience and enhance cognitive function. However, the timing and duration of fasting periods appear crucial, with some approaches supporting elevated consciousness, while others may create stress that undermines coherent states. As you consider your own relationship with nutrition, notice how different foods affect your energy, mood, and mental clarity. Your body provides constant feedback about which foods support elevated states and which ones create sluggishness, anxiety, or emotional instability. Learning to interpret these signals becomes a crucial skill for maintaining optimal frequency throughout your day. The electromagnetic environment in which you live continues to evolve rapidly, creating both challenges and opportunities for frequency optimization. The fifth-generation wireless technology, now being deployed, creates electromagnetic field patterns that didn't exist during human evolutionary history. While the long-term effects remain unknown, some individuals report sensitivity to these artificial frequencies. Creating electromagnetic sanctuary spaces in your home becomes increasingly important as our electronic environment becomes more complex. Simple practices like turning off Wi-Fi routers at night, keeping electronic devices out of sleeping areas, and spending regular time in natural environments can provide your nervous system with periodic breaks from artificial electromagnetic exposure. The Earth's natural electromagnetic field, known as the Schumann resonance, continues to provide a baseline frequency that appears to support human consciousness. This 7.83 Hz frequency closely matches the alpha brainwave patterns associated with meditative states, suggesting that regular contact with the Earth's natural electromagnetic field may support elevated consciousness. Grounding practices, where you make direct physical contact with the Earth's surface, allow your body to synchronize with these natural frequencies while discharging accumulated artificial electromagnetic energy. Research has shown measurable physiological changes from grounding practices, including reduced inflammation markers and improved sleep quality. The acoustic environment surrounding you throughout the day creates constant frequency influences that operate below conscious awareness. Even when you're not actively listening, your auditory system continues processing sound waves and converting them into electrical patterns that influence brain state. Creating periods of acoustic sanctuary through silence or natural sounds can provide crucial rest for your nervous system. Binaural beats and other forms of audio entrainment offer technological approaches to frequency optimization. When you listen to slightly different frequencies in each ear, your brain creates a third frequency that matches the mathematical difference between the two tones. This phenomenon can be used to encourage specific brainwave patterns associated with elevated consciousness states. However, the most profound acoustic influences often come from live human voices, particularly when engaged in practices like chanting, singing, or meaningful conversation. The human voice carries complex harmonic structures that appear to resonate with something deep in our neural architecture. For share-creating opportunities, frequency experiences that transcend individual consciousness. Music emerges as perhaps the most sophisticated tool for consciousness modulation available to human beings. When you listen to music that moves you, your brain synchronizes with the rhythmic patterns, while your heart rate and breathing naturally entrain to the musical structure. Different musical elements influence consciousness through distinct pathways, from the emotional associations of melody to the physical entrainment effects of rhythm. Classical music with mathematical harmonic relationships appears to create particularly coherent brainwave patterns, while certain types of electronic music can induce trance-like states through repetitive rhythmic patterns. The key is developing sensitivity to how different musical styles affect your individual frequency signature and choosing sounds that support your desired consciousness states. As you move through your day, pay attention to the acoustic environment surrounding you. Notice how different sounds affect your inner state, from the calming influence of natural sounds to the potentially disruptive effects of mechanical noise. Your auditory environment represents one of the most controllable aspects of your frequency optimization practice. Social environments continue to provide the most powerful influences on your frequency states through mechanisms that science is only beginning to understand. When you spend time with people operating at coherent, elevated frequencies, your own nervous system naturally entrains to these patterns through multiple sensory channels simultaneously. The phenomenon of emotional contagion operates through mirror neuron networks that automatically activate when you observe others' emotional expressions and body language. This means that simply being in the presence of genuinely peaceful, joyful, or loving individuals can shift your own frequency states without any conscious effort on your part. But social frequency influence extends beyond emotional contagion to include what researchers call physiological synchrony. When groups of people engage in collaborative activities, their heart rates, breathing patterns, and even brain waves begin to coordinate in measurable ways. This synchronization appears to enhance group creativity, empathy, and collective problem-solving abilities. Conversation itself becomes a frequency-sharing practice when engaged with conscious awareness. When you speak with genuine presence and listen with authentic attention, you create opportunities for shared consciousness experiences that can elevate all participants. The quality of attention you bring to social interactions directly influences the frequency patterns that emerge. Group practices like meditation, prayer, or conscious movement create particularly powerful opportunities for collective frequency elevation. Research has documented measurable electromagnetic changes in environments where groups engage in synchronized consciousness practices, suggesting that collective intention may create field effects that transcend individual nervous systems. The people with whom you choose to spend time represent one of the most significant factors in your frequency optimization efforts. Chronic exposure to individuals operating at chaotic, fearful, or angry frequencies will gradually shift your own baseline states through the same entrainment mechanisms that can elevate consciousness when exposed to coherent individuals. This doesn't mean avoiding all challenging people or difficult situations, but rather developing the skills to maintain your own frequency coherence, even in less than optimal social environments. Advanced practitioners learn to maintain their own electromagnetic signature while remaining compassionate and present with others who may be experiencing temporary frequency disruptions. As you reflect on your social environment, consider which relationships naturally elevate your consciousness and which ones tend to drain your energy or create reactive patterns. Notice how you feel after spending time with different people, and use this feedback to make conscious choices about how you invest your social energy. The spaces where you spend significant time accumulate energetic signatures through the activities and emotions that have occurred there repeatedly. Hospitals often feel heavy, not just because of conscious associations with illness, but because these environments have been saturated with intense emotions over long periods. Similarly, spaces used for joyful gatherings or contemplative practices often feel uplifting in ways that transcend their physical characteristics. You can consciously influence the energetic signature of your living and working spaces through specific practices that create and maintain elevated frequency patterns. Regular meditation or prayer in particular locations appears to leave traces that make it easier to access elevated states in those spaces over time. Sound practices like chanting, singing, or playing musical instruments can shift the acoustic signature of spaces in lasting ways. The materials, colors, and arrangements in your environment all contribute to its overall frequency signature. Natural materials like wood, stone, and organic fibers appear to create more harmonious electromagnetic environments than synthetic materials. The colors that surround you influence consciousness through pathways that bypass conscious visual processing, directly affecting mood and energy levels through their specific light frequencies. Plants and living systems in your environment provide dynamic frequency influences that change throughout the day and seasons. The electromagnetic fields generated by healthy plants appear to create beneficial influences on human consciousness, while the oxygen production and air purification they provide support optimal brain function. Creating altar spaces or dedicated areas for contemplative practices helps establish frequency anchors in your living environment. These spaces serve as reminders of your commitment to elevated consciousness, while providing consistent locations where you can reliably access coherent states through environmental conditioning. As you consider your physical environment, notice which spaces naturally support elevated states and which ones feel draining or chaotic. Pay attention to how different rooms, buildings, or natural locations affect your inner state, and use this awareness to make conscious choices about where you spend time and how you arrange your living spaces. The integration of all these frequency optimization approaches creates what we might call a coherent lifestyle, where multiple elements work synergistically to support sustained elevated consciousness throughout your day. Rather than relying on single practices or hoping for temporary peak experiences, this integrated approach creates the conditions for elevated states to emerge naturally and consistently. The key insight from all this research is that maintaining high vibrational states isn't about forcing yourself into artificial positivity or denying difficult emotions. Instead, it's about creating the optimal conditions for your nervous system to access its natural capacity for coherence, resilience, and expanded awareness. Your consciousness exists in constant relationship with every aspect of your environment, from the foods you eat to the people you spend time, from the sounds that surround you to the electromagnetic fields that permeate your living space. By understanding these relationships and making conscious choices that support frequency optimization, you participate in the ongoing creation of your own consciousness experience. As we near the end of our exploration tonight, take a moment to feel the integration of these concepts within your own awareness. Notice how your breathing has perhaps deepened, how your heart rhythm may have become more coherent, how your mind has settled into states of quiet wonder and possibility. You are not separate from the frequencies we've discussed. You are the living embodiment of consciousness, learning to recognize and optimize its own vibrational nature. Every breath you take, every heartbeat, every moment of awareness represents your participation in the vast symphony of existence, your unique contribution to the ongoing evolution of cosmic consciousness. In our next journey together, we'll explore how sleep and dreaming provide ways into G dimensions of consciousness that exist beyond waking awareness, and how the practice of lucid dreaming might offer pathways to expanded states that transcend the ordinary boundaries of individual identity. We'll discover why some dreams feel more real than waking life, and how the frequencies generated during different sleep stages might connect you to aspects of consciousness that exist beyond the individual nervous system. Until then, carry with you the recognition that you are a magnificent, vibrating, frequency-generating expression of cosmic awareness, capable of consciously participating in the ongoing creation of reality through the simple act of maintaining coherent, elevated states of consciousness. Rest well, knowing that even in sleep, your consciousness continues its eternal dance with the deepest mysteries of existence itself. The practice of conscious sleep preparation emerges as one of the most profound yet underutilized tools for frequency optimization, representing a bridge between waking consciousness and the mysterious realms of dream awareness. As you prepare for sleep each evening, your nervous system begins a complex process of transition that can either support or undermine your capacity for elevated states throughout the following day. The period between waking consciousness and deep sleep, known to sleep researchers as the hypnagogic state, offers a unique window into the fluid nature of awareness itself. During this transition, your brain produces theta waves, the same frequency patterns found in deep meditation and creative inspiration. In this liminal space, the boundaries between conscious and unconscious mind become permeable, creating opportunities for profound insights and healing experiences. When you approach sleep with conscious intention, rather than simply collapsing into unconsciousness, you transform this daily transition into a powerful practice for consciousness expansion. The simple act of reflecting on your day with gratitude before sleep has been shown to influence dream content, sleep quality, and even the neurochemical patterns that govern your morning awakening. Your sleep environment becomes a sanctuary for frequency restoration when consciously designed to support optimal consciousness transitions. Temperature plays a crucial role, with your core body temperature naturally dropping as you approach sleep. Creating a cool environment that supports this natural rhythm enhances the depth and quality of restorative sleep phases. The darkness in your sleeping space isn't just about blocking light. Complete darkness supports optimal melatonin production, but it also creates conditions where your visual cortex can generate the internal imagery of dreams without interference from external stimuli. This internal visual processing during sleep appears to serve crucial functions for memory consolidation and emotional integration. Consider the profound intelligence embedded in the sleep process itself. your brain remains remarkably active during sleep, consuming nearly as much energy as during waking hours while engaging in complex processes of neural maintenance, memory consolidation, and creative problem solving. The dreams that emerge from this activity aren't random neural noise, but sophisticated information processing that continues the work of consciousness, even when your waking mind is offline. The different stages of sleep each serve distinct functions for frequency optimization and consciousness development. During light sleep stages, your brain processes the filtering day's experiences and organizing information while maintaining some connection to external awareness. Deeper sleep stages engage in more profound restoration, clearing metabolic waste from brain tissue and consolidating important memories while discarding irrelevant information. REM sleep, characterized by rapid eye movements and vivid dreaming, represents perhaps the most mysterious aspect of consciousness. During REM periods, your brain produces electrical patterns similar to waking consciousness, while your body remains paralyzed to prevent you from acting out your dreams. This state combines the neural activity of waking awareness with the expanded possibilities of dream consciousness, creating conditions where extraordinary experiences can emerge. Research into lucid dreaming has revealed that some individuals can maintain conscious awareness while dreaming, creating opportunities to explore consciousness states that transcend ordinary waking experience. These lucid dreamers report experiences of expanded awareness, creative problem solving, and even healing that seem to operate according to different rules than waking consciousness. The practice of dream journaling creates a bridge between sleeping and waking consciousness, allowing you to retain and integrate insights that emerge during sleep states. When you record your dreams immediately upon waking, you strengthen the neural pathways that connect conscious and unconscious processing, gradually increasing your ability to access expanded states of awareness. But perhaps most remarkably, the frequency patterns generated during sleep appear to influence more than individual consciousness. Research has documented cases where people sleeping in close proximity show synchronized sleep stages, their brain waves in training to create shared rhythmic patterns. This suggests that consciousness maintains some form of connection even during sleep, participating in collective frequency fields that extend beyond individual awareness. As you prepare for sleep tonight, consider setting an intention to remain open to whatever insights or experiences may emerge during your dream states. Simple how this. Notice shift in attitude towards sleep might influence both your dreams and your morning awakening. Your consciousness doesn't disappear during sleep, but transforms into different modes of awareness that can support your ongoing frequency optimization journey. The foods you consume in the hours before sleep directly influence your brain chemistry during the night, affecting both dream content and sleep quality. Tryptophan-rich foods consumed several hours before bedtime provide the raw materials for serotonin and melatonin production, supporting natural sleep cycles. But the timing of food consumption also matters, with large meals close to bedtime potentially disrupting sleep architecture. Certain herbal teas have been used for centuries to support restful sleep and vivid dreaming. Chamomile contains compounds that bind to the same brain receptors as anti-anxiety medications, promoting relaxation without the side effects of pharmaceutical interventions. Passion flower appears to increase GABA activity in the brain, supporting the transition into deeper sleep states. Magnesium supplementation has emerged from research as a particularly effective support for sleep quality and dream recall. This mineral plays crucial roles in nervous system function and appears to enhance the brain's ability to transition smoothly between different sleep stages. Many people report more vivid and memorable dreams when maintaining optimal magnesium levels. The practice of progressive muscle relaxation before sleep creates conditions that support both physical restoration and expanded dream consciousness. By systematically tensing and releasing different muscle groups, you train your nervous system to recognize and release physical tension while developing greater body awareness that can carry into dream states. Breathing practices specifically designed for sleep preparation work with your natural circadian rhythms to support optimal consciousness transitions. The 4-7-8 breathing pattern, where you inhale for 4 counts, hold for 7, and exhale for 8, activates parasympathetic nervous system responses that naturally prepare your body and mind for restorative sleep. Temperature regulation throughout the night influences sleep architecture in ways that affect consciousness states. Your body temperature naturally fluctuates during sleep, with the deepest sleep occurring when core temperature is lowest. Creating sleeping environments that support these natural temperature rhythms enhances both sleep quality and dream experiences. The position in which you sleep may influence states through dream content and consciousness, its effects on breathing patterns and circulation. Some traditions suggest that sleeping on your right side supports deeper, more peaceful sleep, while sleeping on your left side may promote more active dreaming. While individual preferences vary, experimenting with sleep positions can reveal how physical posture influences consciousness states. Sound environments during sleep create another layer of influence on dream consciousness. Complete silence supports the deepest restoration for some individuals, while others find that subtle nature sounds or gentle music enhances dream experiences. Binaural beats played at very low volumes may influence brainwave patterns during sleep, potentially supporting lucid dreaming or enhanced dream recall. The practice of setting dream intentions before sleep appears to influence dream content in measurable ways. When you approach sleep with specific questions or desires for insight, your dreaming mind often provides responses that surprise and delight your the boundary aching consciousness. This suggests between conscious intention and unconscious processing is more permeable than typically assumed. Take a moment now to consider your own relationship with sleep and dreaming. Do you approach sleep as mere unconsciousness, or do you recognize it as an opportunity for continued consciousness exploration? Notice how this simple shift in perspective might influence your experience of both sleeping and waking states. The electromagnetic environment in your sleeping space influences brainwave patterns throughout the night in ways that can either support or disrupt optimal consciousness states. Electronic devices generate electromagnetic fields that may interfere with natural sleep rhythms, while complete disconnection from artificial electromagnetic sources creates conditions that support deeper restoration and more coherent dream experiences. Creating technology-free bedrooms becomes increasingly important as our living environments become saturated with wireless signals and electronic devices. The blue light emitted by screens doesn't just affect melatonin production, it creates specific electromagnetic patterns that can influence brain chemistry for hours after exposure. The Earth's natural electromagnetic field, the Schumann resonance, continues operating throughout the night and may play important roles in sleep quality and dream consciousness. Some researchers suggest that sleeping in direct contact with the Earth's surface or using grounding devices that connect you to the Earth's electrical field may enhance sleep quality and support more coherent consciousness states. The practice of gratitude before sleep creates specific brain chemistry changes that influence both sleep quality and dream content. When you focus on appreciation for the day's experiences, Your brain produces neurochemicals associated with positive emotions while reducing stress hormones that can disrupt sleep. This simple practice appears to program your unconscious mind for more positive and insightful dream experiences. Visualization practices before sleep can influence dream content while supporting the transition into restorative consciousness states. When you imagine peaceful, beautiful, or inspiring scenarios, as you drift towards sleep, you create templates that your dreaming mind may elaborate upon, leading to more positive and memorable dream experiences. The practice of loving-kindness meditation adapted for bedtime creates conditions that support both peaceful sleep and compassionate dream content. By sending thoughts of love and goodwill to yourself and others as you prepare for sleep, you establish emotional frequencies that can influence your entire night's consciousness journey. As you consider these sleep optimization approaches, remember that small changes in your evening routine can create profound shifts in both sleep quality and consciousness expansion. Your sleep represents approximately 1/3 of your life, making it a significant opportunity for ongoing frequency optimization and consciousness development. The relationship between sleep and consciousness reveals something profound about the nature of awareness itself. Rather than simply shutting down during sleep, your consciousness transforms into different modes of operation that serve crucial functions for psychological health, creative problem solving, and spiritual development. Modern sleep research has revealed that the brain engages in sophisticated information processing during sleep that continues the work of consciousness in remarkable ways. Dreams appear to serve functions ranging from emotional regulation to creative problem solving, from memory consolidation to psychological healing. This ongoing mental activity during sleep suggests that consciousness operates continuously, simply changing its modes and focus areas. The phenomenon of sleep learning demonstrates that consciousness remains receptive to information even during sleep states. While you cannot learn complex new skills during sleep, your brain can continue processing information encountered during waking hours, sometimes making connections and insights that weren't apparent during conscious analysis. Certain individuals demonstrate remarkable abilities to control and direct their dream experiences through lucid dreaming practices. These dream explorers report experiences that seem to transcend ordinary consciousness limitations, including enhanced creativity, accelerated learning, and even spiritual insights that influence their waking lives. The practice of dream incubation, where specific questions or problems are presented to the dreaming mind, has been used throughout history as a tool for receiving guidance and inspiration. Modern research suggests that this practice can be effective for certain types of creative problem solving, with the dreaming mind often providing novel solutions that weren't apparent during waking analysis. Sleep disorders often reflect underlying imbalances in frequency regulation that extend beyond sleep itself. Individuals with chronic insomnia frequently show dysregulated stress response systems and compromised emotional regulation during waking hours. Addressing sleep issues through frequency optimization approaches often provides benefits that extend far beyond improved sleep quality. The timing of sleep in relation to natural circadian rhythms profoundly influences both sleep quality and consciousness states. Going to waking at consistent to sleep and times that align with your natural chronotype supports optimal hormone production and brainwave patterns throughout the night. Seasonal variations in sleep patterns reflect the deep connection between human consciousness and natural rhythms. During winter months, many people naturally require more sleep and experience different dream patterns than during summer periods. Honoring these seasonal variations rather than fighting them can enhance both sleep quality and overall frequency optimization. The practice of afternoon napping, when timed appropriately, can enhance rather than disrupt nighttime sleep while providing opportunities for unique consciousness states. Short naps of 20 to 30 minutes can provide restoration without entering deep sleep phases that might interfere with nighttime rest. Cultural traditions around the world have developed sophisticated understandings of sleep and consciousness that modern science is only beginning to validate. Aboriginal dreamtime concepts, yogic sleep practices, and indigenous dream-sharing traditions all recognize sleep as an active consciousness state worthy of cultivation and exploration. As you prepare for your own sleep tonight, consider approaching this transition with the same conscious attention you might bring to meditation or other spiritual practices. Notice how this shift in attitude towards sleep might influence both your dreams and your morning awakening. The integration of conscious sleep practices with daytime frequency optimization creates a complete approach to consciousness development that operates continuously throughout the 24-hour cycle. When sleep preparation, dream work, and awakening practices are aligned with breathing techniques, movement, nutrition, and environmental awareness, they create synergistic effects that support sustained, elevated consciousness. The morning awakening process represents another crucial transition point where consciousness shifts from sleep states back to waking awareness. How you manage this transition can significantly influence your frequency patterns throughout the entire day. Gentle awakening that honors natural sleep cycles creates conditions for starting each day in coherent, elevated states. Natural light exposure immediately upon awakening provides crucial signals for circadian rhythm regulation while supporting optimal neurotransmitter production. The specific wavelengths present in morning sunlight influence melatonin suppression and serotonin activation in ways that artificial light cannot replicate. The practice of morning reflection, where you review dreams and set intentions for the day, creates continuity between sleeping and waking consciousness while establishing positive frequency patterns that can influence your entire day. This simple practice transforms the awakening process from automatic habit into conscious choice. As our journey through the landscape of human frequency draws to a gentle close, take a moment to feel the profound truth that has been with you all along. You are not merely a body that happens to be conscious. You are consciousness itself, temporarily wearing the magnificent garment of biology, broadcasting your unique frequency into the cosmic symphony of existence. Every breath you've taken while listening to these words, every heartbeat that has pulsed through your chest, every moment of wonder that has flickered through your awareness represents your active participation in the ongoing creation of reality itself. The science we've explored tonight isn't separate from your lived experience. It is your lived experience, revealed through the lens of careful observation and measurement. Your capacity to maintain elevated states isn't a luxury or spiritual indulgence, but a fundamental expression of your deepest nature as a conscious, vibrating, frequency-generating expression of the universe becoming aware of itself. Rest well tonight, knowing that even in sleep, your consciousness continues its eternal dance with the deepest mysteries of existence. If this exploration brought you peace or curiosity, consider sharing it with someone who values quiet wonder. And when you're ready for another journey into the profound mysteries of existence, join us for Time is Fake, and You've Been Living an Illusion, where we'll discover how your experience of temporal flow might be the most beautiful misconception your consciousness has ever created. your consciousness has ever created.